Hello, welcome everybody to those joining live, and then I know this will be on YouTube, so we'll be able to see it after as well. I'm excited to chat a bit about orientation and answer some of the big questions and little questions that you may have heading into it. My name's Trent. I work with Student Life here at U of T, and I'm happy to answer some of those big burning questions heading into the first week of the school year. So the first question, perhaps the most important, is when does orientation start? So at U of T, we have orientation starting all at the same time this year, but it's a little bit earlier than it's been in the past. So similar to last year, the orientation programming at U of T is starting the week before Labor Day weekend as opposed to after. This year beginning for most divisions on either August 24th or August 25th. There will be slight differences depending on which college or faculty the student is joining. So make sure that the students are checking because some of them do start on the Sunday, maybe the Monday, the Tuesday, and that will also depend whether they're in residence or not. However, all of our orientation programming this year at U of T will be taking place in that first week right before Labor Day, which is very, very exciting, and it is coming up very soon. Another question that we often get here at U of T is how does it actually work? How does the orientation programming work at such a large institution? And at U of T, there isn't just one central orientation for all new students. There isn't just one big welcome week, but all of the colleges and faculties will run their own. So there are actually 11 different orientations happening at once for first year, first entry students. So for a little context, there is a college system at U of T, which consists of 7 colleges within the arts and science faculty. And then also there are 4 faculties who host their own orientations as well. For more information, there will be a link put, I think, in the chat to learn a bit more about these colleges. But each of these will be running their own orientation programming. So a student who is part of St. Mike's will be going to the St. Mike's orientation in a few weeks. And then if you're a part of, say, Innis College, you'd be going to the Innis. With that said, there are some pieces of programming for the entire campus. So there are a few times throughout the week in which all of the students are brought together to participate in the same thing. These are typically run by our students' union, and this year that includes the cheer off and the clubs fair, which is taking place on Thursday, August 28th. So whether you're part of any of those divisions, you'll be able to represent your unit and participate and hopefully win the cheer off. And then you can go to the clubs fair and check that out as well. There are different collaborations as well. So some colleges will be working together, but if you are entering a college or faculty, that is the orientation that you'll be part of. And there is no, like I said, big central just U of T orientation. So we hope that makes sense. And if you want to learn more, you can either check out the UTSU website or look within your college or faculty because they will have lots more information for you at this point in the summer. Another question, and another very important one, is around how to register or sign up for orientation. So this, because there are 11 different orientations running, can vary and range a little bit depending on the college or faculty. However, you would likely register through your college or faculty and most likely online. They will be advertising, whether through social media. We encourage all students to check their U of T email as well. They really want you to attend. So they will make sure that if you want to be at orientation, your college or faculty will make sure that you're there. We also really encourage you to check out the social media and the platforms that exist. On there, they'll have things like schedules, promos, updates, maybe even events or contests, things you can win. And some events that are central, like the UTSU ones, the Cheer Off or the Clubs Carnival, are drop-in, so there is no payment or registration needed. But if you are curious or want to learn more, we again encourage you to reach out directly to your college or faculty because they are who you will register through. And in regards to fees, different divisions will cover potential payments and fees in a different way. Again, we encourage you to reach out directly to your division. We have a few more questions. And the next one is, what can we expect? So what can students expect at orientation? What will happen? What will take place? And there are a lot of similarities across all of the divisions. So to start, there will be a ton of events. So there is a ton going on with lots of chances for students to connect with both their peers and their new classmates, as well as upper year students, faculty, really anyone they may want to get to know on campus. But really the most important one is they will be meeting all of their new classmates in one week, which is very, very exciting. Within the week, there's usually a lot of social content. So there will be activities where students really just get to focus on meeting each other, learning about the school, learning about what their years will look like. But in addition, there will be content on academics, for example, ways for them to understand what might be coming, how it might differ from what they've done before, and then a ton of events around getting to know your college and building school spirit. Things like the cheer off are amazing for that. And like I mentioned, there are some larger scale events such as the clubs fair or the cheer off. And there are other events that are collaborative like the block party with Woodsworth or other events. So make sure your students are checking their calendars. But in general, they'll expect lots of opportunities to do a bunch of different things, get to meet a bunch of different people, and kind of decide how they best want to engage. The colleges and faculties do a great job of providing options. So if there are students who are maybe not wanting a ton of high energy events. Typically, there are options, especially in the evening, where there can be lower key events, higher key events. Really, the goal is just to get students to find their fit, their place, and learn about U of T. The second last question, which I want to address, is why should students go to orientation? Why is it important for them to go? So there are so many different reasons that I think students should go to orientation, but for each student, it will be different, and their experience with orientation will also be different. But some of the most common reasons to go are to start, it helps you get to know campus. U of T is a huge campus with lots of buildings and spaces, and it is built into a city. So orientation helps you get to know the space you'll be spending so much time in. It also lets you get to know your college or your faculty and learn what exists, what involvement activities exist, where you can go, things like that. So the ability to get to know a place you'll be spending so much time is so valuable. But there are other really good perks for orientation, such as academic preparation. Each division has built-in academic sessions and workshops and things to prepare students for the academic part of their university experience. Of course, another big one is meeting new people and making friends, which is one of the most, in my opinion, exciting parts of orientation and a great reason to go. It's another great time because all of the students are in the same boat. It can be really daunting for students attending a new university, being like, I don't know anyone, who will I meet? But everyone is in the same boat at orientation, and it's designed to get you connecting and meeting these people. So it's a really great chance to meet new friends, meet new people, and just start to build the community at U of T. And a final reason to go is orientation is designed to be fun. And it is one of the most fun parts of a student's undergrad experience. So we really encourage students, there's lots they can learn, lots of connections they can make, but also just to go and have a lot of fun and build memories that they will remember for their whole time here and very likely once they've even graduated. The final question I want to address today is about what happens next. So once orientation ends, where can students go? How can they continue to integrate into campus, get involved, do things like that? There are so many things that students can do at U of T once orientation ends. This is really just the start. And these can include things like getting involved within your college or faculty. You'll be building this school spirit, this college spirit. You can get involved and become part of that for future students and just for your own academic or school cohort. You can also join student groups and clubs. We have tons of those on campus. One thing we really encourage students to do is enroll in a program that we call Starting Point. And we'll put a link in the chat as well. But Starting Point is a chance for students to get weekly newsletters and kind of engage with what is going on campus for them. So Starting Point is designed for incoming students to learn what's going on campus in a bunch of different areas. It's designed to help them understand where to look, what to look for, and try things and build towards a co-curricular record and kind of finishing out the program. So we really encourage all new students to enroll. And it's a really great opportunity for them to pick what they want to get involved with, but have access to so many things. And another thing they can do, and we really encourage folks, is to check out our student life programming. So student life is massive, and there's so much available to all students. We really encourage you to check out our website, check out things on Folio, and really find your fit. Orientation is amazing, and it's an amazing start for students, but from there's so much more, and we really encourage students to embrace that, engage with that, and continue the amazing start they'll have made in orientation. So those are the big questions, and that's what I wanted to cover today. I hope this was helpful, and if there are other questions, there are ways to reach us through Student Life, so we hope that you all are excited to join us, and really that is it from my end, and I look forward to seeing you all at orientation this fall.